say Shy City and around the world. Welcome to another episode of Chicago's Intellectuals Podcast. And today we have none other than Alex Gonzalez. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling great. Thank you.
Good
Thanks.
to
Thanks.
see you again, man. Been a minute.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah,
Likewise.
yeah. Hey,
Really
listen,
great to
man.
see you, and I'm grateful that you invited me on your show.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming, man. I appreciate you coming. Listen, let's go ahead and jump right into this, man. Tell the world a little bit about your background, such as where you were raised, how you were raised, your schools, things of that nature.
Yeah, for sure. So I was born in Chicago.
Mhm.
Moved out to the burbs to Joliet. Went to high school there. Spent a large part of my life in Joliet. Moved back to the city. So my background is my parents are immigrant. Raised in poverty and made it to the middle class because of my dad getting into the trade unions and the like that industry at the time was pretty booming in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
So that took us from really low poverty to the middle class pretty quick. By the time I was a teenager, we were living pretty good in the burbs. Definitely a working class area in Joliet.
Hmm.
Um, I was in a black neighborhood out there and went to primarily black schools in Joliet. Um, but still, coming a long way from, living in five kids in a tiny apartment in the city when we were kids, um, so yeah, that's kind of my childhood. Really strict Catholic parents, I would say. So that was always a struggle, not being able to do a lot of things freely.
Yeah.
But ironically, also a very artistic family. Uh, Grew up, all my family members are musicians.
Mm.
My dad's still a practicing musician. He's internationally known musician, sells a lot of records in the church kind of industry.
Hmm.
Um, my sister's a church choir leader or director of the church choir. Yeah, man, like my older brother taught me how to play the drums. I've been playing the drums since I was 8. Um, but also like in junior high, I got really into drawing and writing. So very, very artistic. Does that answer the question, or am I
Yeah,
going to?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this. What area of Chicago did you guys live in before you moved to Joliet?
So we're in the Humboldt Park area.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so the community that really embraced us was the Puerto Rican community. I'm Mexican
Hmm.
American. My parents are from Mexico, but the community that really embraced my parents and helped us through the struggle here to accommodate or to kind of like settle in with where the was the Puerto Rican community, which to this day we're all very grateful to that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So what were some of the schools that you ended up going to?
so I went to Joliet High Central High School,
Yeah, Joliet Central. Okay.
yeah, and Washington Junior High. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Let me ask you this, Alex.
Mhm.
What are your values?
Oh man, I try to keep it universal. I know that sounds easier than it is in practice.
Hmm.
I was raised with like, strict Catholic values, even though I have to admit I divorced Catholicism in my teenage years fully.
Hmm.
Um, so I wanted to build my own values, but of course, you have to learn from the past. So I mean, I think treating people how you want to be treated is definitely a value that is universal.
Hmm.
And the community aspect of being useful, being of some use to society or to your community. Like I know that sounds very basic, but when it comes to the arts, like not every artist kind of has that. Like I think nowadays it's more about like kind of the fame you're building and what you're going to get out of it,
Hmm.
and it's no longer about what use are you to the world, you know?
Yeah, kind of like that rugged individualism.
Yeah,
Yeah. So where did you get your early mindset? Who were some of your earliest influences?
I would say in high school, man, like when I was like before I was 19, I was really like into the church and really involved, very God-fearing and everything.
Hmm.
And then I just started reading more and just started getting influenced by other things in high school, like around 19. And I got really into hip hop, the hip hop culture.
Hmm.
Uh, so most of my family members, cousins, and my older brother, they got involved in the gang culture,
Yeah.
which is very customary in the 90s,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially with males. I mean, females as well. My female cousins were definitely gang banging
Yeah.
too. So I was really drawn to that. So I would say the thing that really saved me from that route is hip hop and
Mm.
I got really into politics and hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I got into like breakdancing, graffiti, vinyl DJing and like going to parties, cutting school and going to like a DJ's like basement to breakdance and spin records and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that really started paving my new direction in life with the arts, finding a home in that environment.
So speaking of the arts, man, tell us about your journey as an independent filmmaker, media artist, writer. Oh man, you've been putting in work, brother. I've been seeing you, man. Tell us about this journey.
Oh yeah, it seems like a short journey. Looking back now, I'm 43 years old now.
Mhm.
Um, but it's a long journey. I got to try to summarize it because I know time is limited, but I just feel like everything as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that everything you do is important, you know, who
Yeah,
you expose yourself to, what practices you take on. Like at the time, and this is kind of directed for young artists.
yeah,
At the time, it seems futile. Like it's like, oh, this it's not going to lead to it. It really does. Whether it's shaping who you are or building a connection with a prospective collaborator.
hmm,
Um, so yeah, man, like I so my undergrad, I studied multimedia. I graduated here in Chicago from the Academy of Design and Technology in 2004.
okay,
I was doing more graphic design, more like two-dimensional visual art, web design, stuff like that.
hmm,
And I started getting more um, attracted to cinema, to foreign films, to video making. We started making like our own high eight VHS movies of us skateboarding or breakdancing, like
VHS.
yeah. Well, maybe it was already high eight. I'm not that old, but um, so that started attracting me, and then I just started watching more stuff, man. Like at the time in the '90s, there was like big surge of like independent films that were coming out,
Yes.
foreign films. Like I think the first film that really like kind of paved the way was what is it? Sex, drugs, and the videotape or something.
Sex, drugs, and videotapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I
kind of
remember
like,
that series. Yeah.
yeah, so it was like, everybody or more people felt like they can make films that are outside of the Hollywood kind of studio structure.
Yeah.
What really got me were these foreign films because they were just so different. I was always interested in the other, like
Yeah.
so I started watching stuff from like Scandinavia, from Japan, from South America, from Spain, from Africa, like just anything that has subtitles, man, I was in for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and so I started writing and just studying that on my own, and I was like, you know what, I want to pursue this more. I ended up going to LA to kind of explore that. I didn't like the scene in LA too much. And I ended up like just, I mean, long story short, I ended up going to Paris to study film.
Hmm.
Um, in 2007, I was in their master's program in 2007. It was definitely like life changer for me.
Yeah.
Just being in the old world, it was definitely an old world. Um, and yeah, just kind of shaping myself there in the foreign land, learning a whole new language, communicating in a whole new language.
Mhm.
There's I made really good friends that didn't even speak English, so it was like all French or Spanish. Um, but yeah, that shaped me. They kind of like my broadened my mind as an artist. Um, and a big takeaway, it's like, and this is another small like lesson for or message for young artists is you are what you do.
Yeah, baby. Yes.
So like it's hard to become who you are in the US because a lot of the state agencies and apparatus don't support artists.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Europe is perfect, but it's because it's definitely not. But in Paris, they did have more subsidized kind of structures and systems for artists to be able to at least create. So that changed my psyche. That changed my self reflection of who I am, who I look at myself as, and I started really, accepting that I am an artist.
Yeah.
Where sometimes we're here and we're like, I'm just pretending to be an artist, but I'm really a server. I'm really, a bus driver. But
Yeah.
at night and midnight, I can be an artist, but nobody's, like it's a crazy kind of mind twist in the U.S.
Yeah, the westernized concept, man, can sometimes rob you of your creativity because you're on that hamster wheel and you have these responsibilities, you know. Uh,
Right.
what are some of your prouder projects that you've worked on?
Oh man. So yeah, after Paris, I moved to New York. I worked on some shoots. I decided to move back to the Shy and focus on writing scripts.
Mhm.
Um, so the first script I wrote when I got back, it was a hired job. This woman producer that I met in Paris, she hit me up and her friend wrote a story and he wanted me to adapt it into a screenplay format. So I rewrote his story, made it film. It never got produced for whatever reason. They were from LA. Um, so then I focused on a feature script called Youth, Fire, and Storm. Um, and that's part of a trilogy that I'm writing, and then also there's Quotidian, which I'm now producing. But I wrote and directed and produced a short film called Humboldt Spring back in 2015. And it was just like a short film, very visual, lyrical film about like it was kind of an ode to Humboldt Park.
Mhm.
Um, Kind of it all takes place in one day. This a young woman wakes up and there's no dialogue or anything. She wakes up in a state of strife and we don't know why, but you see it in her. And then throughout the day, the magical influence of Humboldt Park in the summer kind of wakes her up and she meets some.
Yeah, yeah. That's fitting for Chicago too, man. That's fitting for Chicago. So fill us in on some of your collaborations. I mean, you've mentioned this, you've touched on this, but some of your collaborations, both nationally and internationally.
I mean, I would admit I don't have a ton of collaborations internationally. Like I was doing stuff with people in LA from here, like this cat that I met in Paris. He was actually a Puerto Rican guy from Chicago, but we met up there, and he ended up moving to LA to become a really successful producer.
Mhm.
Um, so he would come to town because he's originally from Chicago, and he would help me produce some of my stuff. He helped me on Land of Ghosts. His name is Felix Pinheiro, a very influential man in my life.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, he helped me with every time I do something, he helps me out. And then but nothing like fully like concrete, like I have friends that I talk to still, but we haven't really like chopped it up and really sat down and worked on a big project together. I still got friends in New York and stuff. And but yeah, nothing yet, man. I'm hoping to push that barrier that horizon.
So what are you presently working on?
So right now, I'm focusing on like I mentioned earlier, Quotidian. It's a feature length film set in Chicago,
Mm.
and I'm in the sixth draft of the script. I started writing in 2014.
Yeah, man. You have to have those revisions because you come up with ideas in your sleep sometimes, right? So you have
Yeah,
to
and
revision, man.
I just kind of put it to rest. Like I had a contract with Full Spectrum Features, which is a Chicago-based production house in Chicago, and in 2019, and the pandemic hit, and mentally I wasn't really there anymore, so I just kind of let the project sit for a while.
Mm.
And then earlier this year, with everything happening in America and the world, I was like, this movie has to be told. This
Yeah.
story has to be told. So I'm really focusing on that. Another side story, like as you and I met in higher education, I worked for NEIU for 12 years,
Mm.
and I lost that job last year. So that November this time last year, so that I decided to focus more on movie stuff. So while I was working for higher education, I didn't really do a lot of movie stuff.
Mhm.
You know, I did Humboldt Spring and I did more writing, but I didn't really do much. So since last year, I've been keeping busy. So I've done a few projects in a year. Yeah, like right now, there's a music video that's being released in December from a very talented British rapper. Her name's Panther, and then a Chicago rapper named G Herc. So that's gonna be. I'm excited to for that release.
Mhm.
And then I've done a few short promos for people just trying to get my content out there. But yeah, I'm focusing on quotidian, man, and that's I don't know if you want to know a little bit about the
Yes, absolutely we do. Yes.
so quotidian is it's about it's set in 2012.
Okay.
Um, it leads up to the Chicago Teachers Union strike.
Ah, okay.
Um, so the main character, he's a Puerto Rican young man from Humboldt Park. Um, at the onset of the movie, he's already ran from his past, but his past is he was involved in crime, gang life, drugs, and stuff like that. So when the movie starts, he's the extreme opposite. He's a very conservative, hands off, kind of OCD guy. His love life sucks. He just doesn't want to commit to anything. He's just on his own. He's a machinist. He's an industrial machinist. He's got the stability, but he's not free mentally.
Mm.
So living in fear of his sins from the past.
Yeah.
Um, so the movie talks about him losing his secure union job and being thrown into the class struggle by force. So the message of the movie is only through struggle where you finally find freedom.
Yeah.
So it's a political premise, and it's kind of my call to arms to the working class because I feel only the working class can really change the gears of society. Only we have that social force, social power to do so. So that's this movie is kind of my battle cry, you know.
Yeah. And how do you spell that?
It's Quotidian. So that quotidian means everyday life.
Okay.
It's originally a Latin word, but quotidian is their English version, and in Spanish is cotidiano. It's more used in like Europe and Latin America.
Man, that's brilliant, brother. That's
Appreciate it.
brilliant. You spoke into this, but talk a little bit more about the diversity of populations that you work with because you traveled abroad and been in other cities. Can you talk a little bit about the diversity of populations you work with?
Of course, yeah, man. Like I mean in France, the program I was in was international, so there were French white people, French black people, there were Africans from like Senegal, Nigeria, Asians from like Indonesia, the Philippines, there were some Colombians. I think I was me and the Puerto Rican cat, we were the only like Chicanos, because there were some Colombianos, but they were like, they're not.
Yeah.
like, there's a difference. There's a difference. And in the US, man, like I mainly when I in Chicago at least, I mainly work with Black or Latino filmmakers. Um, it just happens maybe I'm just like more attracted to what we or maybe our messages are similar, but that's usually my community that I like working with.
Yeah.
Um, but
So,
yeah.
what are your future aspirations, Alex?
Oh man, just continuing my path, like building my artist lifestyle.
Hmm.
Um, I really want to get Quotidian done, and then after that, move on to Youth, Fire, and Storm, which is already written, but it's supposed to be a sequel to Quotidian. Um,
Okay.
just continue making films and being a part of the community, helping out when I can. I'm in Pilsen now, and I love it here. Like it's a very active.
We are at Pilsen Arts and Community House in the heart of Pilsen. My name is Teresa Magaña, and I'm one of the co-founders here at Patch. Beautiful the way that they open this place up, because like for them this is home, and like we're able to like really use this space the way
Definitely,
we
this
want
is like a great outlet for a lot of folks that don't have it.
Community.
Are you back in the city?
Oh yeah, yeah, I've been here for a while.
How important is mentorship, Alex?
I think it's crucial, man. It's very important. Um, I've never had like an official mentor, which is something I would like
Hmm.
to have in my profession. But I've had people that I get inspired by, historical figures that I consider my mentors, even if they're no longer living.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but I think it's important, man, because like you can only learn, your brain can only cognitively like retain so much or learn so much, and then you need a human contact to really like retain some new stuff, new skills, new values. So yeah, I think it's really important, and I think that's something that people like us that were born on the wrong side of the tracks that we don't have, sadly, especially males.
yeah,
We don't have mentorship, and that's something that privileged people have.
yeah.
You know,
Yep, yep.
definitely have mentors automatically without even asking. They have a ton of people, you know, uh, ready and willing to direct them in the right direction. Where we're pretty much left alone, you know, to make our own way.
Yeah, yeah. We have to make a conscious effort
Yeah.
to identify people who can kind of guide us. Yeah. What does Alex read?
I'm definitely a reader. I used to read more when I was younger, just because, you know, you get older, you get busier. But I love literature. I love poetry. Um, love politics. I read a lot of Marxism, to be honest.
Mm,
Um, Poetry really like softens my shoulders. It helps me see the world in a very more like poetic, artistic lens. Literatures like right now I'm reading a novel by Dostoevsky called Brothers Karamazov.
mm.
Um, it's a Russian, one of my favorite Russian novelists. Um, and I'm also reading this book by this Hollywood director named Rob Spear, and it's called actually I have it here. Um, the Film TV Director's Field Manual. It's really recommended to filmmakers. So yeah, no, just like reading stuff that'll help me shape myself into who I want to be.
What kind of music does Alex listen to?
Definitely still listen to classic hip hop.
Yeah,
Definitely it's hard to say Latino music just because it's so broad, like but yeah, I listen to either new like reggaeton stuff or classics or even like really folk stuff. Jazz, I love jazz.
mhm.
I like classical music too, like Chopin,
Yeah,
Bach.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, but right now, lately, when I edit, I listen to a lot of jazz, like a lot of avant-garde jazz, Cecil Taylor type stuff. So,
Do us a favor and give a message to the up and coming filmmakers. You've done it throughout the interview, but we want you to really hone in and just give a message to the up and coming filmmakers.
well, for sure, man. I'm gonna keep it brief. Basically, make sure to focus on building your artist lifestyle.
Mhm.
Uh, even if it's even if you start with like 1 hour a day, start integrating that construction, um, and also don't get stuck on failures. Like be ready to fail because you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail more than you're gonna succeed. So get yourself equipped for that, and
Mhm.
never take anything personal. You know.
Yeah. Listen, yeah, that professional identity is really important as you move forward. You have to carve out your own professional identity, right? And sometimes you have to think outside the box and not so much operating within the construct of a specific design that's already there. It's okay to think outside the box because artistry, by virtue of it being art, right, shouldn't be boxed in, right? It's about creativity, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so, how would our audience get in touch with you if they wanted you to do some video production, writing? Do you have a website? How can our audience get in contact with you? And we're going to post some of your stuff in this video as well. But how could our audience get in touch with you if they wanted to hire you to do like a video or direct a music video, whatever it is?
So there's two ways I've been using. Um, Instagram has become very helpful for me. So it's A Gonzalez underscore arts.
Okay.
So that's AGONZALEZ _ arts is my Instagram handle. And my email is quotidian.pictures.shy@gmail.
Okay.
So those are good ways to contact me.
You better spell quotidian again, man, because they might not get it.
I got to make it trendy one day.
Yeah, yeah, we got to find a way to make that trendy. But go ahead and spell it out because there'll probably be somebody watching who could possibly reach out to you.
Okay, it's QUOTIDIAN.
Okay. Very good, man. Hey, man, listen, I'm proud of you, bro. Much success, and hopefully we can do some business together here pretty soon, man. You've always been a great guy, stand-up dude, and we just wanted to have you on as an example of what can be done, man.
I appreciate it. Really, really, really grateful to be here and to still be an acquaintance and friend of yours. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love what you do.
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. So at the end of our interviews, I always like to afford our guests to tell a story of their choice. That story can be anything big or small. The segment of this section is called Big or Small. I got a story to tell. Now is your time. Story of your choice.
Story, my choice. I guess it's a funny story. There's really I should think about it more, but it's just so one day I was driving okay, so I'm just thinking off the cuff right now. I should have thought about it longer, but I was responsible for driving the equipment truck to a film shoot in Paris once, and there was a lot of, Paris is very congested, very small, congested city, and the roads are kind of like still intended for horses and stuff. They were like made out of cobblestone and narrow.
Yeah.
Um, so we were running late. I picked up equipment. I had this big ass truck, and long story short, I got in a car accident. Stopped traffic, and it took like an hour or so for the authorities to show up because just picture New York in this small, like tighter city. Uh, that was the story, man. So like instead of like kind of like freaking out, losing it, like we just we did like all the procedures and everything, and we showed up on set like nothing happened, and everybody was like, "Where were you, man?" Like that little mishap, and the production just continued, man, and like the crew, they were really good, so they unloaded, we got everything set up, and it was like almost like it didn't happen. And then people were like, "Why is there a big dent in the back of the truck?" And we're like, I'll tell you later. But it just taught me to bounce back, like to that things are gonna happen, and just continue to your goal, to your
Yeah.
quest.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Things come out of nowhere sometimes, and you might have to pivot on the spot.
Right.
We must continue, man. We can't be overwhelmed with anxiety. We have to continue to our goal. For Alex Gonzalez, I am the Kid Rod Allen. This has been another episode of Chicago's Intellectuals Podcast. Until next time, peace. Peace.